Hi, I'm Vicky. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to guide you through a vinyasa flow. We'll be working on building strength through the glutes and through the core, and also incorporating some balances, some twists, and really just working the whole body whilst also helping to focus and clear the mind. So I want to get started today in a supine position. Now supine means on your back. So come to lie down on your mat. Keeping the knees bent, bring the soles of the feet to touch and allow your knees to splay out to the sides. Relax your shoulders. Go ahead and close the eyes. And we'll take a big breath in through the nose, filling the lungs all the way up with air. And when you can't take in any more air, let it all go through the mouth with a sigh. Shifting your awareness now to the breath. Noticing the rise and the fall of the belly and the chest. Maybe placing both hands on the belly or one on the belly and one on the chest. Allowing you to tune into each subtle movement. Allowing your thoughts to just fizzle away. Breathing in any sensations that arise. And as you exhale, allow yourself to just release any tension, any stress, anything that no longer serves you. Maybe taking a moment here to set yourself an intention, just a short phrase or a word, something positive to incorporate into your practice today. And then when you're ready, flutter open the eyes. Use your hands to guide the knees towards one another. And then hug your knees into your chest. Wrap the arms around the tops of the legs. And then from here, release the arms, keeping the knees hugged into the chest. Allow yourself to send them over to the right for a twist. Maybe you'd like to open your arms out to a T. You can turn your head to look out to the left if that feels good. And then come back to the center. Send the knees over to the left this time. Option to gaze out to your right. And then back through center once more. Release your soles of your feet down to the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Hands come down by your sides with the palms pressing into the mat. And then begin to step into your feet so that you lift up the hips, coming into a bridge pose. So really use your glutes here. Squeeze the glutes at the top, protecting the low back and building some strength. And then we'll incorporate some movement. So begin to lower down almost all the way to your mat and then lift up once more. Squeeze at the top. Use your glutes to control this movement. Squeeze at the top. Strong glutes are so good for protecting the low back and preventing any aches and pains. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze at the top and gently lower down. And from here, roll onto your belly. We'll come into a Sphinx pose. So bringing the elbows under the shoulders, forearms parallel. Breathe in as you lift your chest. And as you exhale, bring the hands under the shoulders. Send the hips back. Take child's pose. Melt your heart and your head down to the mat. Breathe into the underarms, to the back, to the shoulders. And then lift your head, rise onto the fingertips and begin to walk your hands out to the right. So maybe your hands come off the mat here. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold down, shifting that stretch to the left side body. Lift up once more, rise onto the fingertips and then walk the hands over to the left this time. Same thing here, inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Lift the head, rise onto the fingertips, walk the hands back to the center. Come through a tabletop position and then tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips, take downward facing dog. So making any small movements that you need to here, maybe pedaling through the legs, bumping the hips left and right, even shaking out the head, anything that your body needs before finding stillness in downward facing dog, gazing towards your navel, really pushing the mat away. On your next inhale, lift the right leg high, spread the toes, and then as you exhale, step that right foot to the outside edge of your left foot. So you're crossing the legs here. Send the hips back for a variation on downward facing dog. Breathe into your left hamstring. Inhale, lift up, three-legged dog. Exhale, send your shoulders over your wrists, your knee to forehead. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to forehead. Hold here. And when you're ready, step the right foot down to the front of your mat. And as you inhale, rise up to a crescent lunge position. Another breath here. And as you exhale, take a twist. So send your left hand out in front of you, your right hand back behind you, gaze out over your right shoulder. Inner thighs hug in towards the midline. And you can choose to stay here, or you can float those right fingertips down to your left leg and lift your left arm. Lift your heart. Keep gazing over your right shoulder. On your next exhale, windmill the hands down to your mat, frame your foot, and then step back to a plank position. Hold for just a breath here to acknowledge the pose. And then as you exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, lift up to a cobra. Exhale, lower down. And take downward facing dog once more. As you inhale, lift your left leg high this time. Spread the toes. And as you exhale, bringing your left foot to the outside edge of your right foot. Taking that downward facing dog variation. Breathe into your right hamstring. Keep those hips lifted high. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to forehead, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to forehead, hold here, and then step the left foot through. Rise up, take your crescent lunge, arms reach up overhead, really step into your right heel, and then evenly distribute your weight into your left foot. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, take your twist. So left hand comes back behind you, right hand out in front, taking one long line of energy. Option to stay here or to float the left hand down. Reach up with your right hand, gazing over your left shoulder. On your next exhale, windmill the hands down, step back to your plank position and move through your vinyasa. Option to lower all the way down and take cobra, or to move through chaturanga and upward facing dog. Meeting in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose and a big sigh through the mouth. From here, bend the knees deeply, look between your thumbs and walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms reach up overhead, look up. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. From here, step wide on your mat and send your toes to point towards the corners of your mat. So they're slightly pointing out away from you, about 45 degrees. Bring your hands to your hips, big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, begin to bend your knees. And you can choose to stay here with the hands on the hips, or you can take goddess arms as well. Keep breathing into those glute muscles, really feel them building strength here. And then begin to pulse. Small movements. Trying to keep the shoulders over the hips as much as you can, not leaning forwards. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise up to standing. Come back to the front of your mat. And from here, we'll take a tree pose. So begin to shift your weight onto the left foot and take tree pose with the right foot. So you can place the heel on top of the foot, or sole of the foot to the calf, or the inner thigh. So take a moment to settle in, and as much as you're pressing into the standing leg with the sole of your foot, press back with the standing leg. Find your drishti for balance. Hands can be on the hips or at heart center. Try not to hold the breath. Gently release and place your right ankle just above the left knee. Big breath in through the nose, and then as you exhale, begin to bend the left leg. So you're coming into a standing pigeon. The lower you go, the more you will open through the right hip. Be really mindful here. And as you inhale, slowly rise up. Keep your right leg lifted, spread the toes. And as you exhale, step back to warrior three. So your right leg presses back behind you. Arms can come out to the sides. Point your right toes down to the ground to keep the hips even. From here, float your left fingertips down to the mat, slightly out to the left. Point your right toes out to the right, lift your right arm up to the sky for half moon pose. Or you can keep your right hand on your hip if that feels more stable. Keep a micro bend in the standing leg and keep sending energy through the sole of the right foot. So really kick out of that foot. The foot is flexed. And you can choose to stay here, or for an added challenge, you can begin to bend the right leg and see if you can reach back with the right fingertips to take hold of the foot. Keep that sense of lifting up. Gently release, take half moon once more. Then look down at your mat, bring your right hand and your right foot down and forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, shoulder blades come towards one another. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank position and move through your vinyasa. From here, bend the knees, walk or hop to the front of your mat and inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, root to rise. Arms reach up overhead, look up. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We'll take tree pose on the other side. So this time shifting your weight onto your right leg. And coming into tree pose with the left leg. Let's take a different arm variation this time. So maybe reaching up overhead. The option to take a little chin mudra here, bringing the index finger and thumb to touch. Keep your core engaged and keep focusing on your drishti. Release the left leg and place the left ankle just above the right knee. Hands come to heart center. Big breath in, and as you exhale, begin to bend the right leg, taking your standing pigeon pose on the other side. Maybe noticing if it feels different on this side. Keep breathing, try not to hold the breath. And as you inhale, rise up, keep the left leg lifted. And as you exhale, stepping through to warrior three, Virabhadrasana 3. The left toes point down to the mat. And as you're ready, float the right fingertips down to the ground, slightly out to your right. Begin to point your left toes out to the left. Option to lift your left arm up to the sky, half moon pose. And it's important to keep just the fingertips down on the ground here. I find that keeps you more light and lifted than having the whole palm of the hand down on the mat. So once more, option to stay here or to bend the left leg, reach back with the left hand and take sugar cane pose. Lift up, breathe. Gently release, take half moon once more. And as you exhale, left fingertips, left foot come down to the mat, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift you up halfway. Exhale, fold once more. And as you inhale, rise all the way up. The arms reach up overhead, look up. Exhale, hands come to the heart, mountain pose. From here, take a step wide on your mat once more. This time, have the big toes pointing slightly in, so you're very slightly pigeon-toed. Bring your hands to your hips, breathe in, stand tall. And as you exhale, send the hips back as you hinge at the hips and fold forwards. Bring your hands down under the shoulders, elbows point back behind you. Let the head be heavy. And now place your left hand in the center of your mat And begin to press into the left hand to lift you up halfway, and then float your right fingers up to the sky for a twist, looking up at your right thumb. As you exhale, bring the right hand down, place it where the left hand is, and inhale, lift the left hand, take the twist the other way. Exhale to lower, take the hands under the shoulders once more, breathe, elbows point back towards the back of the room. And on your next inhale, lift up halfway, and then take your peace fingers to bind around the big toe. Big breath in, and then exhale, fold, send your elbows out to the sides. Inhale, lift up halfway. Take your fingers to the outside edges of your feet and exhale, fold once more. Elbows still pointing out to the sides. Breathe here. Now bring the hands to the hips. Begin to bend the knees as you round the body slowly all the way up to standing. Heel toe the feet towards one another. And then come to sit down on your mat, facing the front of your mat. You're keeping your knees bent for now, and send the feet halfway out in front of you. Arms come out so that the palms are facing one another. Engage your core and begin to lean back halfway. So you're making this kind of V shape with the legs and the low back. From here we'll take Navasana, boat pose. So you have options here. You can do this with single legs, so lifting one leg at a time so that the shin is parallel with the mat. Or maybe you can lift both at the same time. So you're really using your core strength here. Shoulder blades draw towards one another. Breathe. And you can choose to stay here, or for an added challenge, you can straighten the legs. As you're ready, lower down, hug the knees in, sit nice and tall. And then we'll come back to Navasana one more time. So sending the feet halfway out in front, palms face one another as you lean back halfway, core is engaged, and then taking your variation of Navasana. Toes are spread, shoulder blades stay towards one another. So try not to let your back round at all here. And gently release, hug the knees in, lengthen through the spine. And now keeping the knees bent, place your right knee down on the mat so that it's in line with your belly button. And then step your left foot so that it's outside, on the outside edge of your right knee. And if this is not comfortable, you can extend your right leg out in front of you. As you inhale, lift your right arm, and as you exhale, twist and hook your right elbow to the outside edge of your left knee. Your left hand comes just back behind the spine. You're gazing out over your left shoulder. And you can stay here, or you can take a bind if that's in your practice. Look ahead and begin to unravel the arms first, and then the legs, and we'll take it to the other side. So this time left knee comes down on the mat in line with your belly button, and step the right foot to the outside edge of your left knee. Inhale, lift the left arm this time, and exhale, hook the elbow, place your right hand back behind you as you gaze out over your right shoulder. Option to take a bind. And bring it back to the center, releasing the arms first, followed by the legs. And then extend your right leg out in front of you and place the sole of your left foot on your right inner thigh. As you inhale, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, walk the upper body down to fold over your right leg. Gazing out over the top of your right toes. Seeing if with each inhale you can lengthen a little more, and with each exhale, maybe folding a tiny bit deeper. And you can choose to stay here gazing out over the top of the toes, or maybe you wish to bring the head down towards the knee. Gently and mindfully release. Come to sit tall. Extend your left leg and place the sole of the right foot on the inner left thigh. Inhale to sit tall, squaring your body over that left leg. And exhale, walking the upper body down. Thinking about drawing your belly down towards the thigh. Gazing out over the toes. Breathing into the left hamstring. Option to lower the head down towards the knee if that feels good. Gently release, bringing both legs out in front of you. And from here, slowly lower all the way down onto your back. Seeing if you can take it just one vertebrae at a time, using your core strength. When you get there, bend the knees and take happy baby pose. So taking hold of the outside edges of your feet and then lifting the soles of the feet up as if they're going to walk on the ceiling, using your arms to draw your knees in closer towards the armpits. And you can always modify this by taking hold of the ankles if that's better, or even the inside arches of the feet. So just finding whichever variation works best for you. Gently release and take your Shavasana. So extending the legs out long, giving yourself plenty of space, taking the feet as wide as your mat. Arms come out to your sides with the palms facing up. Go ahead and close the eyes. Taking a really big breath through the nose. Fill the lungs all the way up to the top, and then exhale, let it all go through the mouth. Let go of your attention to the breath now, feeling a sense of heaviness. Wash over your body from the soles of your feet, your heels, the backs of the legs, your hips and low back, your upper back, your shoulders, your neck and your head, traveling down the arms and the hands, allowing yourself to just melt into the mat here as your body soaks up all the good work that you've just done. So we'll be here for just a few minutes and I'll let you know when Shavasana is complete. Beginning to deepen your breath now. Adding some small movements to your fingers and your toes. And then rolling slowly onto your favorite side. Taking your time. Before coming to a seated position on your mat. You can keep the eyes closed for now. Bring your hands to your heart center. Sealing in the practice with one more big breath through the nose. Big sigh through the mouth. Sending yourself gratitude for taking this time to dedicate to your practice, to your wellness and your health. Namaste.